Hi, this is Shabelle TV. Welcome to the news in English live from Mogadishu. With me, I am Omar Noor. The top stories include Somali President His Excellency Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has met with top U.S. government officials in Washington, D.C. on the sidelines of the U.S.-Africa summit there. The Prime Minister of the country, Hamza Abdi Barre, has arrived in Aden Jabal town within Middle Shabelle region days after the recapture of the strategic town from Al-Shabaab militants. A top military court in Mogadishu has sentenced a former soldier to death for facilitating a bomb attack in Mogadishu. Bulan State Security Forces conducted a massive security operation in Galkayo City to avert insecurity incidents. The leader of Shabelle State, Ali Goodlawe, has welcomed a delegation from Mogadishu in a small town within his regional state of Somalia. Welcome back to the news in detail. Somali President His Excellency Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has held a meeting with top U.S. ministers in Washington, D.C. as he attended the U.S.-Africa summit in the city. The president of the country has met with the U.S. State Department Antony Blinken and the defense minister, as well as the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. He discussed with the top U.S. government officials the bilateral relations between the two countries and Washington's support to the Somali federal government in the fight against Al-Shabaab militants. Villa Somalia has released a statement saying that President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has appreciated the United States for the support in the country's efforts to dislodge Al-Shabaab from the remaining areas. The leader of Djibouti, Ismail Omar Gelle, has attended the conference on the sidelines of the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C. Days after his election, U.S. President Joe Biden has announced that United States military will redeploy the troops back to Somalia. He has ordered the Pentagon to send back the American forces to Somalia a year after their withdrawal. That was the first decision made by U.S. President Joe Biden upon the election of current Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. United States military provided support to the Somali National Army in the fight against Al-Shabaab, and the AFRICOM carries out airstrikes against Al-Shabaab militants. U.S. military also trains Danab special forces within the Somali National Army. The unit is capable of attacking the Al-Shabaab strongholds within the country. Somali Prime Minister His Excellency Hamza Abdi Barre has arrived on Wednesday in the strategic town of Aden Jabal within Middle Shabelle region, days after the recapture of the small town from Al-Shabaab militants by the Somali National Army backed by local community fighters. The leader of Shabelle State Ali Goodlawe has welcomed the Somali Prime Minister within the city, and the both leaders have went to the front lines to visit the Somali government forces and local clan militia fighting against Al-Shabaab militants. The Prime Minister becomes the highest government official to visit Aden Jabal since the liberation of the city from Al-Shabaab last week. Somali Prime Minister has previously visited the front lines in Hiran region last month to start the tour to the government forces within the stations and the front lines. The president of the country, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, has also recently paid a visit to a frontline town within Middle Shabelle region. This is part of the effort to boost the morale of the government forces and the local clan militia fighting against Al-Shabaab. Since last August, when the government has declared the war against Al-Shabaab, Somali Prime Minister said the government forces liberated dozens of villages from Al-Shabaab and killed more than 600 Al-Shabaab members during the offensive. Somali government has voted to recapture all the remaining areas still under Al-Shabaab control. Despite being dislodged and driven out of the strongholds, Al-Shabaab still poses a potent threat to the national security. The group has staged deadly attacks in the country, mainly in Mogadishu, where it targeted upscale hotels and government offices. That's the end of today's English news, live from Mogadishu. With me, I am Omar Noor, and the entire team of the program will leave you. Bye for now.